Hey Jeff, can you tell me more about truck accidents?
Sure. I've handled a lot of truck accident cases, and unfortunately, because of the size and the weight of trucks, they usually result in catastrophic or very serious injuries. And just like with any accident, it's very important to lawyer up as soon as you can, because I can guarantee you that the truck company is lawyering up. They often have attorneys and investigators go out to the actual scene of the crash before the police are even done with their investigation. So it's very important that you get somebody on your behalf if you or a family member are injured in a truck accident. There are almost always issues of liability. The injuries are going to be there most likely, but the issues are going to, boil down to who is at fault. Um, was there speed involved? Was there inattentive truck driver not paying attention? Um, was there an improperly loaded trailer that contributed to the accident? And so a good plaintiff's lawyer with experience will hire an accident reconstruction expert early on who will get out to the scene, take measurements, talk to the police, talk to the witnesses, see if there's any dash cam video or any other information from the vehicles that will help show what happened. I'm sure you've heard of a black box electronic a data recorder that can is often in most vehicles, trucks and cars, that can give a lot of information to experts regarding speed and maneuvering of the vehicle after impact, and can tell you a lot about what happened. There's also often issues relating to the truck driver. Who did he work for? What does he work for the trucking company, or does he own his own truck and was a trucking company leasing his truck from him? Um, was his driving history clean, or did he have a lot of issues on his driving history, a lot of tickets, a lot of accidents, such that you could argue that the trucking company should not have hired this driver to drive loads on the roadway for them? Was he properly trained to do the kind of driving he was doing? Was he overworked? Did he work too many hours? There are laws and regulations that restrict the number of hours that a truck driver can be on the road every day. And so if those hours are exceeded and the truck driver was tired or dozing off or inattentive, that can be a very strong case for the injured party. There are also issues relating to whether the truck driver was driving interstate, meaning between states from one state to another, or was he only driving intrastate, meaning that all his driving was done within the same state and he never left that state? Um, there's issues relating to whether he's hauling hazardous materials. So all of these things can affect the amount of insurance coverage that the truck has, and the liability of the truck driver and the motor carrier. So those are just some of the issues to be aware of, but it's very, very important. And I highly recommend that as soon as possible, you hire a personal injury attorney who has experience in handling truck accident cases.
Okay, awesome. And we'll just jump straight into the next one. Give it a second so you can break it up. Hey Jeff, what should I expect when hiring a personal injury attorney?
Yes, if you've turned on the TV or driven down the road in the last decade or so, you will notice that there are a ton of personal injury lawyers who advertise billboards, television, radio, social media, you name it. There are a lot of lawyers out there. And so you've got to figure out, you know, how do you choose your lawyer? Are you just going to choose the first one you see on TV? Or are you going to do a little bit more homework and try to make sure that you are choosing the best possible lawyer for you? Most personal injury lawyers, if not all, will give you a free consultation, which means that you can pick up the phone, get on the phone with the lawyer, go to his office or her office, meet with the lawyer, size them up, see if you get along with them, see if you communicate well with them before making the decision, because it's a very important decision. The lawyer is going to be kind of your partner in pursuing your personal injury case. The key that I have found in 34 years of doing this is communication. And not to point fingers at other law firms, everybody does things differently. There's no real right or wrong way to do it, but a lot of law firms will talk to you up front, and the lawyer will meet with you. They'll get you signed up, and you'll never talk to the lawyer again unless you go to trial or a deposition. They'll have paralegals or case managers in their office communicate with you, and you just don't get to talk to the lawyer because the lawyer's too busy handling other files. I would never recommend that you put yourself in that situation, because when you need to ask your lawyer a question, you need to be able to pick up the phone or shoot your lawyer an email and talk to him or get a response within a reasonable amount of time and get answers to your questions. So I think that communication is key, and along with communication goes trust. The more you communicate with your lawyer, the more likely you are to be able to trust them and trust their advice. And of course, you want somebody who's got the ability to take it all the way. You know, if you've got to go to trial, you need a lawyer who has experience, who's done it and had success with it, and who can also afford to spend the money and the time that's necessary to take on a company or an insurance company. So, you know, it's really, really important that you talk with the actual lawyer who's going to be handling your case. Now, what happens if you hire a lawyer and things go south? You disagree with them, you don't like them, you're not able to communicate effectively with them. You can always terminate your attorney and hire another one. That's your right, to have an attorney who you like and who you get along with and who you trust. But you need to be aware that your attorney who is terminated could very well have a lien for the time and money that they have spent on your case. So if you have a lawyer who litigates your case for 6 months or a year or 2 years, and you fire him or her and go hire somebody else, when you ultimately resolve your case, you may very well have to pay not only your new attorney, but also your old attorney, who will have a lien on the file for the number of hours that he spent and the amount of money and costs that he spent on the file. So I would tell you that it's very important when you do get a new attorney to have a discussion with him or her about what the potential downside is to your prior attorney having a lien, and what are the different ways to get those liens resolved without it costing you too much money out of your own pocket. So when you're out there Googling or watching the TV and you see TV commercials, and you like one, you think you want to hire one, or you got referred, a friend referred you to a lawyer, that's all great. However you found the lawyer is fine, but you need to get on the phone, do a Zoom, or have a meeting with the lawyer who's going to be handling your case, get a comfort level, know that they have the experience to handle your type of case before you decide to hire them.